are back with another session, and today it's going to be so unique because we have been trying to get him all this while. I mean, for the last 5 years, we have really wanted to talk to him about the innovation that has happened with his company, of course, how he did it, what was the idea behind it, how to go forward. I have so many questions. It's ridiculous. So, also, I would like to tell you guys that he is inherently not from the publishing business. That makes it so much more special. He was, and he has gotten a background in aircraft engineering, if I'm not wrong. Then he went to IT, and now he's into publishing, of course, for a while now. And yeah, welcome, Naveen. Welcome to this session.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for having me today. I've been following Booknerds uh, ever since you guys started, and I'm a huge fan.
I am so honored because we feel that I think it's kind of a mutual admiration, here. So thank you so much. We really appreciate what you have done for the ecosystem, and yeah, I mean, we have been a part of the ecosystem for 5 6 years, but it's because of you that we exist. To be honest, because helping out new authors, it's quite gratifying. To be honest, let's talk about that first, and then we'll go to other things. How gratifying it is to get that new book, or give that new book in your case, to a new author.
See, in our case, we have a team of about 200 people,
Right.
and so so we have this thing where we have a WhatsApp group where any feedback that comes in, it has to go on the WhatsApp group, whether it's good or bad.
Okay.
Most of these days, this feedback from authors who've been able to accomplish their dream, right? So they saw that their book is now up on Amazon, and somebody's bought it or somebody's reviewed it.
Right.
It sort of energizes 200 people,
Wow.
right? So there'll be one feedback, and there'll be like a ton of comments under that. So people are like, "Yay! What a start to Monday!" Right? So that's the culture. So everybody feels happy when somebody wins.
So I believe that you brought in startup culture to publishing, and I'll be very honest with that. Not many others have been kind of able to do it, because it needs a certain kind of ethos, if I can say that. What are the things that you were careful about, to bring this culture into publishing? Because it has kind of not been up to the mark with technological innovation.
See, one of the things about publishing is you have extremely talented people.
Yeah.
So when we talk to somebody who has been working in publishing for a long time,
Yeah.
they're extremely talented in spotting books, right? But the challenge in the industry is the industry itself is smart with a lot of legacy issues.
Right.
It's hundreds of years old,
Yeah.
right? So, and decisions are made basis the past 10 years,
Right.
and systems are built basis that.
Yeah.
And smart people come in and they adapt themselves into a system,
Right.
as opposed to when we build out of, especially out of a place like Chennai with no legacy, no hangups. We
Yeah.
are basically doing what we think is the right way forward,
Right.
right? So it's a lot of solving for first principles as opposed to
Right.
solving from the industry itself.
Right. Right.
And I think that's true of any solution that's come in over the
Yeah.
past many years, right? So the taxi union did not invent Uber,
Of course. True. True. So, I have
right?
a
So
question for you. I have a question for you. You have to answer it. Okay. It's not a quiz, so don't worry. No pressure.
no problem.
I'll show you four books. You have to tell me what is common in all of those.
Okay, okay, okay,
And you also have to tell me if you remember them.
okay, okay. I
Yeah.
remember a couple of them.
Okay.
All four of them are Notionpress books,
Yes. Yes. You're right.
right?
Yeah.
Uh, I remember a couple of them. Comet in the
Okay.
Village, I remember.
Summit in the Village is like, because we are from Dehradun, and yeah, the author is also from Dehradun, kind of on and off. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I just wanted to test you out because I wanted to understand. You remember two books, and you have published. I don't know. I mean, it's a huge number, right? So remembering even two is tough. So compliments for that. Um, I wanted to really ask you how the, I mean, the app ecosystem, etc., has come up. So it's like a juggernaut. I don't want to say it, but I had to say it. But so how does that fit into your scheme of things? How do you want to perhaps, not giving out any ideas, but do you discuss this? How to work on that?
So we have something very, very exciting coming in a couple of weeks. We
Okay.
are few
Okay.
weeks away from that,
Okay.
right? So, but we have no, we've always been very open with the community,
Okay. Okay.
and we've discussed ideas openly.
Okay.
See, because we don't think it's a zero-sum game,
Right.
right? So, see, what we've achieved so far is the supply side
Okay.
of content,
Yeah.
right? So, uh, as on date, we've published 28,500 books.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
uh, by end of this month, we would have crossed 30,000,
Wonderful.
right?
Wonderful.
So,
Wonderful.
the the rate at which we are improving supply,
Yeah.
I think this year, in fact, last year we wanted to take the challenge of uh, improving distribution and demand,
Right.
right? So, from that perspective, there are so many readers for these wonderful books that we create.
Yeah.
So, like how we speak internally mean inside the company, we have built the haystack. Now we need to find needles and find people to read
Right.
it,
Right.
right?
Wonderful.
So
Yeah.
we are allowing so many people the opportunity to publish.
Yeah.
The right way approach next is to find these wonderful books, some of them that you actually showed
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
and how do readers discover these books.
Okay.
So that's the challenge for the future, and that's where I think the whole app economy comes in.
Right, right, right. So I kind of understand where you are going with this. So I best of luck for that. And I wanted to discuss about the team also, because usually we don't get to see you guys. I mean, you are behind the scenes mostly. So tell us a little bit about the team, about Bhargav. I get so many emails from Bhargav. It's so satisfying reading those emails. And Jana, do I pronounce it
Yeah,
correctly? Yeah,
correct, Jana.
yeah. So tell us about
So,
that. Yeah, core team.
right. So, see, Jana, Bhargav, and I, we studied together in school,
Okay,
right? So, Bhargav and I used to hang out all the time in the computer lab. So, we were the geeks,
okay,
right? So Jana, right after school, he got into publishing.
okay,
So, his dad runs a distribution company, a book distribution company.
okay,
So, it's one of the oldest in South India.
okay,
But Jana is also sort of like, this is broken. Why is this like this? He's not from the very legacy, protect the legacy kind of mindset.
okay.
He's like, I think this needs to be rebuilt for this generation.
Right.
That kind of a guy, right? So yeah, so we catch up quite often, and we were just discussing about how publishing is broken, and it's nobody's fault.
Yeah,
See, it's not the author's fault or it's not the publisher's fault also that it's
yeah,
broken.
yeah,
If you look at all the top authors of today,
yeah.
everybody has only come in through self-publishing, or rather, most of them have come in through self-publishing
Yeah.
in some form or the other. If they are not a celebrity by themselves, like
Right.
somebody like you have
Like a
Priyanka Chopra's book,
Twinkle Khanna or someone, right?
correct?
Yeah.
I think now Priyanka Chopra has come out with her book, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Unfinished.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct, unfinished. So yeah, except for that, everybody sort of finds it difficult, and that was something that was bothering Jana also.
Okay.
So Bhargav is the geek. So after after college, he took this unconventional path. He said, "I won't work. I'll pursue and learn myself, learn how to code myself and all that." And he was uh, working for a lot of startups in the US.
Yeah.
So he used to moonlight, code for them,
Okay.
all of that,
Okay.
right? So uh, I was, of course, into cybersecurity.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's a good amalgamation, but more than that, we've known each other for about 20 years.
But I think so. It's quite a good amalgamation because cybersecurity is so important right now. It has to be there and going ahead. I mean, when the app comes up, I mean, I don't know of an existing app of Notionpress. If it is there, I'm so sorry, but
No, no, we're
yeah,
not
it's not
aware.
there. So I'm fine there. So it's a good combination. Tell me something. A lot of authors, contact us, and they keep on cribbing about royalties. Okay, it's a huge issue with the traditional publishing also and self publishing also. How do you, I mean, till now also, I mean, you have been doing that, but going ahead, how do we create more transparency in all of that?
See, one of the challenges in the whole system itself, right? So, uh, you have distributors like Amazon, you have distributors, or rather online distributors who are very savvy.
Yeah.
At the same time, in India, you have distributors who are very traditional, and I have met distributors who maintain that ledger book and all that.
Oh
Very
goodness.
unbelievable systems.
Seriously? They do
Yeah, yeah.
that?
Yeah,
Wow.
in see, because the book industry is an old industry, right? So
Okay.
you have a lot of people with a lot of, which is why I said legacy systems.
Yes.
So a ledger book, and they distribute hundreds of thousands of titles,
Wow.
right? So it becomes a huge challenge, and it becomes very physically. I mean, there's a physical layer now, not just an online layer where you have to go collect information.
Right.
And there's a lot of yeah, you come next week, I'll give you the data. Oh, sorry, the data you gave last week is incorrect. There's a lot of that happening.
Oh my goodness. This is like knowledge for me, serious knowledge for me, because I wasn't aware of this. As you know, we live in our own cocoon. But you are going out there and talking to so many people, including you mentioned Amazon. How do you see them in the entire scenario? A lot of people hate them, a lot of people love them. What's happening there?
See, I'm neither on the hate or the love side, right? So I'm on the Amazon is an essential evil, right? See, but
Wow, well
no,
put,
I'll
well put.
right. So see, I'll tell you what it is. Amazon as a platform, they focus so obsessively on consumers that people love. See, I as a consumer love Amazon.
Right,
I'm very confident of my purchases on Amazon,
right,
right? But some of the issues that Amazon has is it's got a very from a book as a bookseller, for me, it's got a very streamlined experience,
okay, okay,
right? So whether you're selling buying book or whether you're buying some other product, it's the same thing, right?
right, right,
As a knowledge product, I think we can do much better in
right.
terms of how we sell it.
Right. So you mean the algorithm needs to be worked on, as in it could.
Not just the algorithm, also even the presentation itself is so standardized
Right.
as a, yeah, because it's got a multi-vertical e-commerce, right? So
Right.
yeah, it's extremely standardized.
Right. Got it. Got it.
Uh,
I understand.
so
I mean, it has. I totally get it. When I go to the Amazon page, even if it was some other product, it would look the same, right?
it would look the same, and also uh, the nuances of a certain product cannot be bought out on Amazon itself.
True.
It's a
True.
challenge,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So see, which is where a lot of these bookstores today are positioning themselves as, hey, you can come and experience them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm thinking, what's the online version of that?
Oh, wonderful, Naveen! I'm totally excited for that. I get the idea. I somehow get the idea what you're talking about, and that if that is achieved, I mean nothing like it. I get somewhat of an idea. I mean not the entire idea. Tell us about Express Publishing. I noticed on your website that Express Publishing is a thing. What's happening there? I got a little confused. So for the wannabe writers, to be writers rather, and readers out there. How does that work?
So we're very aware that it can be very confusing.
Yeah.
So we are sort of in the process of making it a little more streamlined.
Okay.
Uh, so see, the idea with Express was conceived about 3 years ago,
Okay.
when we saw that we were getting 3,000, people who wanted to publish their books with us
Right.
every single month.
Okay.
And at that point, we were only publishing about 80 books.
Okay. Okay.
right? Each month.
Okay.
And we said, what's happening with everybody?
Yeah.
Aren't we supposed to be a democratic platform?
Yeah.
And what's that's stopping them from publishing?
Right.
A, I think it was price, or it was uh, access to time. So even from a time factor, I don't have time now to talk to you,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So all of those factors we weighed in and we said, let's do a self-service tool. People can publish on their own time and it doesn't have to cost them anything. So we said, is it possible to do that in India? And see, globally, you have people who have solved it, but even global players have not solved it in India
Okay.
because the Indian perspective, the challenges are very different,
Right. Right.
right? So, see, I once went to a print partner in Singapore
Okay.
and I saw one person on the entire factory floor. And I
Okay.
asked, where is everybody else on break? He
Okay.
said, that's it. This is my setup.
Wow.
And on the other side, I saw these books being beautifully put on crates,
Yeah.
palleted, and then loaded into large containers.
Yeah.
All of that happened automatically. There was not a single person. There
Okay.
was just a production guy who was just looking at these machines,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
So, see, in a system like that, a lot of automation can be done.
Yeah.
In India, where we have Chotu technology,
Right.
in manufacturing, especially, you can't do that,
Okay.
right? So we had to solve a lot of Indian problems for a publishing platform.
Right.
So Express Publishing, if you're an author, you can come in, you can design your book,
Okay.
you can, in a single click, you can make it available on e-commerce platforms,
Okay.
and we can co monetize with you. So
Okay.
if you sell a book, we share revenue. We take 30%, we
Okay.
give 70% to the writer. From a completed edited manuscript to a book that's published, it takes 24 hours
Okay.
with a review in between.
That's nothing. That's nothing. 24 hours. I mean,
Yeah.
I meet a lot of authors who would be happy in 24 days also. It takes a lot of time. I mean,
No, but
yeah.
the best part about Express that we did not know and we by mistake built it in
Okay.
is that so there are these wonderful writers who come in, they publish a book, and they treat it like software, right? So they come in, they see that, hey, my reader feels this particular part is not working out. Can I change it?
Yeah.
Or they publish a book on accounting or something changes,
Yeah.
or on GST and something changes.
Yeah.
They go in and change, and the next copy of the book that goes out
Oh
is the
wow.
most recent one.
Oh wow.
That's super powerful.
Yeah, because revised editions are trouble. I mean, traditionally speaking, because it takes a lot of time, and yeah, that's a good solution. Uh, I am sure that this question has been asked to you like so many times. The comparison between traditional and self. You must be talking to all these stakeholders, right? How do you what do you think about each other? I wanted to know that.
Yeah, I have a huge respect for people who have been in publishing for a long time. I think they are wonderful tastemakers,
Okay.
right? So they pick a book and think, and they invest their energy behind it,
Yeah.
right? So, and I think that's important also. You pick a story, you put a lot of energy into it. That's important. Uh, I wouldn't say that's the best way to do it, or you self-publish, that's the best way to do it, right? So, see, I think if you're trying to build your personal brand, if you're trying to leave a legacy, if you're trying to uh, monetize your content faster,
Yeah.
all of this is much easier when you self-publish because you get more control,
Right.
right? And I think, see, the way I look at it is self-publishing should be a great launch pad, and then the writer can choose whether they want to continue with self-publishing and
Yeah.
continue selling books directly,
Yeah.
or if they want a contract.
Yeah.
So with a publisher, right? One of my problems with some a traditional publishing house, right? See, apart from the editorial support,
Yeah.
uh, you don't have any real advantage when it comes to the marketplace,
True.
right? A, because your bookstores were in the decline.
Yeah.
See, the big publisher, the biggest USP for a big publisher was I can put you in these bookstores,
Right.
I can buy shelf space,
Yeah.
but nobody is going to discover books in the
Right.
bookstores anymore,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All of that is out.
Yeah.
So, so what happens next? What is the big advantage that I'm getting,
Yeah.
right, as a writer?
Yeah.
And compare that to the speed at which things happen.
Yeah.
I think it's a huge disappointment
Yeah.
for writers.
Yeah, but what are you really worried about going forward? I mean, from publishing perspective, not just self-publishing, what are you worried about? The one thing that is discussed on the team meetings that you are worried about, and one that you are really happy about.
So I'm very excited about digital,
Okay.
right? So I'm excited about the possibility that books need not be uh, a static piece. It can be dynamic where you can build relationships, you can have communities around books
Yeah.
or stories, right? So which is what digital does.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody has done it well yet,
Yeah.
but that's definitely something that excites me, and I'm sure we'll crack it,
Right.
right? What's disappointing for me, or what scares me,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
is the dwindling attention spans,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
the declining attention spans.
Yeah.
It requires a format reboot for us,
Yeah.
and a format reboot requires the creator,
Yeah.
who's the writer, him to start thinking about different formats,
True. True. True.
right?
True.
It's not something we control.
Yeah. Yeah. True. True.
See, people will love reading stories. Stories are not going out anywhere.
Yeah.
People will want to share ideas with each other. That's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But the decline in attention span demands that you find interesting ways to communicate,
Right.
interesting ways to present.
Right.
So, book as a form factor of this 300-page thing that you have to buy,
Yeah.
that's under threat,
True. 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 Yeah.
right?
I get what you mean because I have been seeing a lot of innovative books also of late coming out of many publishing houses, including yours. People are changing their formats. Some of the influencers also are writing many good books that has come in. There are new concepts like, digital has changed a lot, and I agree with you. I think so. The writers also have to, understand that and become more perhaps entrepreneurial in their mindset. We
Correct.
need more of that, right?
See, you have this on happening on YouTube, so on video platforms. See, video sharing is something that's just 10, 15 years old,
Yeah.
and it's probably peaked about 2, 3 years ago,
Yeah.
right? So a lot of people who are native to technology are taking to that.
Yeah.
But while book writing has been around for so many years, and there's that again that legacy that comes in where this is how a book has to be.
Right.
Now I think it's time that so we are investing a lot of energy and time into disrupting that thought around what a book should be,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
right? So the physical book itself is a form of presentation.
Right.
So content organized serially. How else can we do? Will 100 words be a chapter?
Right. Right.
Right. So there's a lot of thoughts around that.
I don't. I really would want to be in one of your meetings if I could, just peep in and listen because it's so interesting. When innovation happens. Have you ever thought about, building a hardware sort of like a Kindle perhaps of your own? Have you ever thought about it?
We have thought about it, and we did one pilgrimage to Korea to just find out, right? But see, what it comes down to is India as a market is a single device market.
Okay.
Not a lot of Indians can afford two devices,
True. True. Agree.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So single device, and now we are taking a lot of steps to make sure that everybody owns a phone.
Right. Right.
So the days of rotary phone having one household per phone
Yeah.
to a personal smartphone is now coming in.
Yeah.
And I think the best way of distributing is through an app,
Right. Right.
not through a device. See,
Right.
which is why even Kindle is not as successful in India as outside.
You're right. You're right. Completely. Because the way it came in, everybody thought that this is the future. But guess what? I think so that, I mean, it doesn't look that way. I mean, at all.
See, already you have a bunch of users who are addicted to physical format.
True. True.
Then your new users who you want to bring in, they can't afford to have another device,
Yeah.
which is 6,000 rupees.
Right.
Your smartphones are only 6,000 rupees,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So a sub $100 device, two devices you can't have.
Right. I before I forget, I wanted to ask you how are you grooming writers also, because it's important. I mean, the mindset at least. I mean, you can't tell everybody to how to write, but the mindset and stuff like that. Do you have workshops for that? What's happening on that front?
When we first started, the questions were around how to publish,
Yeah.
right? Now the questions are around how to publish well.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know how to publish. I know there are platforms like Notionpress.
Right.
How do I maximize the effort,
Yeah.
right? See, somebody is investing a year into writing, sometimes 2 years into writing their book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I think the best you can do is to maximize that effort.
Yeah.
Spend about, and we do a lot of workshops. In fact, I think every month we do 2 or 3 workshops
Okay.
uh, catered to writers on how to publish well.
Yeah, I wanted to know. I couldn't find it, but I mean the way people keep on asking me how to publish this and that. I say I'm not the guy. I'll tell you where to go. Okay, so perhaps a podcast where one knows, one gets to know how to write, how to perhaps reach. I mean, it's a step before no, you reach Notion Press, but perhaps something like that that could maybe make it more easier for authors who are just thinking about it.
No, I think that's a great idea. Uh, we wanted to do a ton of content and on how to publish or how to think about publishing.
Yeah.
And that's also among the all the other hundreds of things that we are doing. That's also one of the things that we want to do.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I mean, of course, it would have been discussed, but just that perhaps the resources and how to do it. That those are the things that are more important.
I also think as a startup now we are evolving into thinking, hey, who can we partner with for this? So we're
Okay.
sort of that in
Okay.
that mind space.
Okay. Okay.
We're
Okay.
like,
Cool.
yeah, so can we partner with somebody who knows
Okay.
and can we get them to do this?
Yeah.
Right. So see, it takes a village to grow an ecosystem.
Oh, right. I really wanted to understand this. I mean, not a lot of stakeholders have that kind of thought that you just mentioned, that we need to coexist and help each other out. Although these things sound great on paper, but I think you have that mindset from whatever I can get. How to inculcate that for, especially for the new literary startups that are coming up?
See, I think the physical world is a world of limitations, which is how do I get people to my store and not the next store kind
Yes.
of thing.
Yeah.
The digital world is a world of abundance. I don't have to have one item in my store. I can have millions of things,
Yeah.
right? So, see, I think the mindset itself comes from the digital world where unless you're hyper connected to each other,
Yeah.
and also it sort of comes from software, right? So you always build code on top of somebody else's code,
Right.
and
Yeah.
then you contribute to these open source projects and all that.
Right.
So see, everything that's done meaningfully is always it takes a whole ecosystem to come together.
Yeah.
So in that respect, so for example, book reviewers,
Hmm.
there are tons of book review sites.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are so many freelancers,
Yes.
but how do you do it professionally? See, in a market like India where everything gets commoditized,
Yeah.
so if you become in a state, you become the first rank holder. Every parent wants you to become the first rank holder, which is not
True.
possible, right?
True.
So that Sharma ji ka beta
Yes.
kind of thing,
That will keep
right?
on happening. That will
Same
keep
thing.
on.
If somebody becomes a book reviewer and they're doing well, everybody else wants to do
Everybody
book
wants to be
reviews.
a booktuber also.
Yeah, booktuber, right? So that's the challenge with a market like India. But some of some of them who are doing it, they want to do it at a professional scale,
Right. Right.
right? That pro scale,
Right.
and that's the sort of ecosystem that you need to build around you.
Right.
So the way we look at it, these partnerships have to evolve at a pro level.
Got it. Got it.
So it's not fun in getting a lot of people together to do this, but
Yeah.
a lot of serious players.
Oh yes, oh yes. That's so on point. I wanted to ask you because a lot of college students, I mean, in my team, in our team itself, there are some college students and they are working hard to create a sort of career in publishing. Perhaps I'm not so sure about it. They are listening, but they will get offended by this. But do you think people really want to make a career in publishing? Are they serious about it?
See, I'm saying I'm a very unusual candidate, right? So I'm not from publishing.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if anybody is from publishing itself, right? So people in publishing are people who are drawn to this idea and they come together.
yeah,
A lot of editors and even large publishing companies, there's nobody from publishing per se,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So uh, I think if you aspire to do anything well enough, right? So if you want to become a carpenter, go become the best one there is,
Yeah.
right? So that's taking it to the art level, right?
Mm.
Then you will not do tables and chairs and all that. You'll build artsy stuff.
Yeah.
So once you aspire to do it at the art level, I think you'll become successful in anything.
Right.
You take all the professions, they'll be the top 1%,
True.
and who'll be very very successful.
True. Yeah.
Right. So see, it doesn't matter whether you're a college student or today that whole thing is democratized, right? So
Yeah.
you can have college students, you can have teenagers who are so powerful that uh, you're able to bring climate change related results,
True. True.
right? So
True.
yeah, so it's all possible,
Yeah.
but it's just that don't do it at your age level. Think of your consumers.
True.
Think of who you're serving.
Right.
Right. Just because you are a teenager doesn't give you an excuse
Yeah.
to do it at that level.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you're, I mean, I'm not aware about the interview process, etc. And I'm going on a tangent here, and this is my last question. I won't trouble you after this. That what is the process like if you want someone to, I mean, if somebody wants to work for Notion Press, how does it happen? What are you looking for exactly? Of course, there are different roles, but what is the one or two things? What are the one or two things that you're looking for, especially?
Yeah. So see, one important thing that we look at, right? So in fact, we had a discussion today around this.
Okay.
So who is this person that we're trying to hire?
Okay.
Is somebody who has done something on their own.
Okay.
Whether you're a book reviewer,
Okay.
right, or you're blogging and you're doing it at a certain scale,
Yeah.
right? We want to give you space to build a career while you also
Yeah.
pursue that,
Right. Yeah.
right? So you're a YouTuber. See, today you can't say that like the old manufacturing days, you can't say you have to only have one job, you have to
Oh yeah.
pursue one thing,
Yeah.
right?
True. True.
So but that's an advantage also. You can easily find out who are these people who stand out, and they're self-starters, they're self-learners
Yeah.
from the people who only want to work,
Yeah.
and the work becomes their identity. So
Right.
we want people who have a hobby and they pursue it seriously,
Okay.
and they also have a job. And those guys are the ones that we select.
Oh, wonderful. That is such a great thought to conclude this session. It has been a huge learning, to be honest. I am not just saying it seriously because we are so inspired by your story, and a lot of us who came into publishing and were from different technical backgrounds look up to you for inspiration and to work hard, especially, and keep up the love for reading and books, of course. Thank you so much, Naveen. It has been a pleasure and looking forward to many more sessions like this and looking forward to the innovations that you come up with in the future.
So thank you for providing all our writers a platform, right? So see, like I told you, I'm personally a huge fan of you guys because you do it professionally,
Thank you so much.
right? So whatever you're doing, it's done really well.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, just continue and let's work together. right?
Of course, it will happen.
Great.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Been a pleasure. One of my favorite sessions, hands down. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye.